Now, from your perspective, because you see a different angle of our field, and you deal with businesses on mass scale. What is the state, in your opinion, of immigration law practice, the business of immigration law? Is there any insight that you can provide from the angle that you get to see it?
Yeah, I mean, No, I have, because we hear from our users. We hear from our users, and the pandemic has been, but the combination, it's been a double whammy, with the pandemic just closing everything and causing all kinds of difficulties, and with the Trump administration just doing everything to sort of block people from immigrating and making life difficult for immigrants and making life difficult for advocates. So I've thought about it a lot, every day practically. I mean, certain people are really hurting. I mean, certain groups of people have been very negatively affected by some of the administration's decisions. I'm actually going to be having a retired immigration judge. You may know his name, Charles Honeyman, who's going to be on our podcast, our webinar. We're going to have a webinar with him talking about sort of from his point of view. But from what I see from the practitioners, certain people are very adversely affected, and people are really trying to find technology solutions, especially with the COVID-19, so that their clients don't have to come in person to the office for everything. And that's traditionally been something which was easier to do, I think, with business immigration than with family immigration or asylum cases. Let's face it, if you're dealing with underserved or underprivileged communities or marginal communities, people are going to have less access to technology. We hear from a lot of practitioners that their clients don't have an email address, or they can't get their clients to cooperate with them over email and so on. We hear these types of things, and I know it too, because I had my share of clients that were like that wanted to come in person to drop off every piece of paper that you needed. And it's hard, very hard, and it's dangerous with COVID-19. So we do believe that a lot of the features that we're deploying have helped people to deal with that issue. I mean, we enable people to send invitations to questionnaires by text message. So even if a client doesn't have an email, everybody practically has a cell phone. They can open the questionnaire on their cell phone. We have all of the questionnaires available in Spanish, which really helps with the Spanish-speaking population. But some firms are hurting. Firms that were on shaky ground are hurting even more. Other people who are making use of the technology, I think they're going to survive, and they're going to adapt and survive. And I think even after COVID is eventually alleviated, some of these changes will remain. I mean, people, I think, will have become used to doing things remotely. And I think that is something which is going to continue to affect life and color the way that people do things for the indefinite future. And I think in immigration, though, honestly, it was overdue that people embraced and adopted technology to work with their clients remotely. It can just be very challenging with certain populations, but I think that you've got to do as much as you can. You've got to do as much as you can. So, I mean, I don't have, data on, I can't say like, oh, I've heard of 15 firms that went under or anything. I mean, I can't say anything like that, but I mean, some people are really hurting, smaller people or people that were trying to launch their firm. It's really difficult now. I mean, if you're just starting out to kind of launch your firm in the middle of a pandemic, I mean, that's a difficult thing to do. And other people who really, relied on doing things face to face with their clients are struggling, frankly, definitely. We've tried to help as much as we can by making the tools available. And when the pandemic hit, we even, gave people if they were, falling behind, we even gave them a month or two to catch up with their subscription and so forth. We've been liberal with allowing people to freeze their subscription if their business has dropped off a lot. So we've tried to do as much as we possibly can.
In the analytics, is there a way to see if like there's less case creation or anything like that? Or is that something you have general?
I don't think there's less. I don't think there's less case creation. I mean, it would be possible to get that data, but we'd have to consider that we're subscribing new people. We're subscribing people at a faster rate than ever right now, in spite of the pandemic, and that goes to like what I said. If you with USCIS accepting scanned signatures and with EOIR accepting digital signatures, you're able to at least operate in a partially remote or partially paperless manner. Hopefully you can keep your operations as paperless as possible. But so we have been subscribing more firms than ever. And that's in part because like I said, we are offering tools that people can use to cope with the situation. And in part because I think, they're learning that the Docketwise site, the Docketwise platform, just offers a lot of advantages in terms of, its user friendliness. And just there's a lot of things about us which make us distinctive. And a lot of people are just gradually learning about that. But we are, the subscriptions are up dramatically.
Thank you for listening to this episode. For previous episodes and more, please visit the podcast page of our website, immigrationlawyerstoolbox.com. You can also visit the Toolbox YouTube and LinkedIn pages to catch the video versions of these podcasts, news updates, and a lot more. Immigration lawyers can also contact me to join the private Facebook page. The email is info@immigrationlawyerstoolbox.com.